paint a portrait. One of the most important things for painting a realistic portrait is having a good underpainting. See how even with that first layer of color, you can still kind of see through it. You can see all the brush strokes. It's not a very strong color. And on top of that, you're kind of fighting against this super stark white color, which doesn't really exist anywhere in reality. So before you take any serious attempts at painting anything, it's better to not have any white on the canvas. And also, I feel like people don't realize that there are certain colors that you can get only from layering other colors. Like you could never get that color straight out of a tube from paint. So whenever you're painting, it's always better to think that you should take at least 3 steps to get to your desired color. Never try to just get that color in your first try out of the tube. Now it is possible if you paint thickly, but it's so much less pressure. It takes so much guessing out of it if you're slowly building it up. So like even for the hair right now, her hair is black with some gray hairs in it, but I'm not just gonna put black down on the canvas. I'm using purples, I'm using blues, and I'm using teals to build that dark black. And this will be much more richer than just using black out of a tube, and similarly to just having that stark white in natural settings, in skin and colors and portraits, there is no straight black. Usually it's like a very dark brown or a very dark purple, but it's hardly ever literally black. I also like to do my initial drawing with black pen or Sharpie so that I can be super messy and free with my underpainting and still kind of have that remnant of a black line to be able to know where my precise markings were. So I can be really free with my brush strokes and still know precisely where I wanted everything to be, even when I'm already like 3 layers deep. Another important part of an underpainting is getting all your values right before you even try to worry about colors. So here you can see I'm pushing my lights and my darks, and you want to make sure your darkest darks are there and your lightest lights are there, because even as you paint over it, those dark parts are going to stay really dark and the light parts are going to stay really light, even if you put the same color over the whole thing. So this is another really good way of adding depth. Aside from just layering your colors, you also want to layer your texture. You want to avoid smoothing everything out all the time. This is also why underpainting is really helpful, because you can be free and you can be messy, and sometimes you'll be surprised at how good effortlessness looks. It doesn't always take like super precise brush strokes and intense concentration to get realistic textures or realistic colors. Sometimes it just happens by accident, and when you step back from the painting, it looks really good, and when you get really close to it, you'll see kind of how messy it is. Another nice part of an underpainting is that everything will remain cohesive. Like for this green dress, there's embroidery on it of a bunch of different colors, but since I'm going to be painting all of that on top of an already existing green, it's still going to have that layer of like continuity, because the green is going to show through no matter what. So no matter what colors I put on this, they're all going to kind of go together automatically. You can see I even tried to put the yellow in on the flower in the front, but like it just looks green because the colors never come out completely opaque. That's why it's better to just build them up over time. And you can see I literally did this super quick. I didn't try, it wasn't like some daunting thing, and it already looks kind of realistic. So now when I go back in and actually like try to paint, it'll be so much easier. So come back for part 2.